Hello, students. Welcome to another class of engineering mechanics. Myself, Ahmed Abdulahad from Civil Engineering Department, ISL Engineering College. So today we'll take another topic related to engineering mechanics, that is analysis of frames. This is a new topic wherein we'll be studying about different types of frames and different types of loads acting on those frames. Okay. So the next unit name is analysis of frames. Analysis of frames. So what do you mean by frame? Let us define what is a frame. Okay. A frame may be defined as a structure made up of several bars. Okay. A frame may be defined as a structure made up of several bars comma riveted or welded together These are made up of iron. These are made up of iron or channel sections. Iron or channel sections and are called members of frame and are called members of frame. You might have seen many industries and workshops wherein you will be having a shed of type of structure. Okay, so those sheds will rest on which material? That material is said to be frame. Okay, so it will look like somewhat like this, maybe somewhat like this, right? Then we'll be having a frame like structure, isn't it? This is nothing but your frame. Okay, so a frame may be defined as a structure. Made up of several bars. Several bars is nothing but this is one bar. Okay, this is another bar. This is also another bar. All these are bars. Okay, made up of several bars riveted or welded together. You might have seen what do you mean by riveted? At these joints, either they will be welded or riveted. Riveted means a structure or a nut which does not allow the two members to move away. That is nothing but a riveted joint. Okay, or next is either they will be welded or bolted also. Okay, these are made up of iron or channel section. So this will be either made up of iron or channel section. What do you mean by channel section? We have studied C section, I section, right? So channel section is nothing but like this. So like this. This is nothing but our I section or channel sections, or combination of two C sections. This is one C and this is another C. So if you join two C sections, you will get an I section. Okay. Then how many types of frames are there? We'll see that. Okay. So types of frames. So basically there are two types actually. So we'll write down. Basically there are two types of frames. Okay. And are classified as, first one, perfect frame, and second one is imperfect frame. Okay. So what is imperfect frame and perfect frame? That will be studying in the upcoming class. Okay. So they basically we have two types of frames, and it depends. The perfect frame and imperfect frame depends upon the analysis of each point. Okay. Analysis of each point. So analysis of frames, that is nothing but, what do you mean by analysis? Analysis is something we are actually trying to calculate the forces in these members. Forces in these members. What is the force in each member? That is nothing but our analysis. Okay. Analysis of each frame. So I'll write down here. Analysis of frames can be carried out. Analysis of frames can be carried out with the different methods. Okay. We can calculate the values of forces in each member with different methods. With different methods, out of which method of joints, method of joints and method of sections, method of sections are majorly used for analysis, are majorly used for analysis. So in our syllabus also we have two methods, that is method of joints and method of sections. Okay, these are the two methods with which we calculate all the forces in each member. That is nothing but analysis of frame. Okay, so we'll start one basic problem related to analysis of frames. Okay, take down the question. Determine the forces in each member of the frame. Determine the forces in each member of the frame shown in figure using method of joints. There are totally two methods for the calculation of for the analysis of frames. Okay, so he is asking us to calculate forces in each member of the frame. The frame is given in the question itself by using method of joints. Okay, so the frame is given here like this. So this is the frame. Fine. Right. You might have seen these type of things in many function halls, right? In our areas, we can see these type of things in many function halls, right? So this is one support and this is another support provided. Okay, and this support is a roller support here, just given in the question itself. Fine. And we have one more member in between. It is like this. All right. And this distance, the total distance, we have one point load also acting over here like this, which is 60 kilonewton. And this distance is 2 meters and this distance is also 2 meters totally. And along with that, they have given us this angle, that is 60 degrees. This angle is also 60 degrees. This angle is also 60 degrees. And this is also 60 degrees. Okay. So it's a very simple problem and a basic frame. All these triangles are 60 degrees. That means it is an equilateral triangle. Okay. So let us start this problem. So what we have to do here first is we'll start the problem. Solution. Okay. All these things are given in the question now. Now what we'll do, we'll start the solution by naming the frame first. Okay. So I'll name this point as A, this point as B, this point as C, then this point as D. How many points? A, B, C, D, right? Then we have this point also, E, then another point, this point will name it as F, and lastly we'll be having this point, we'll name it as G. So wherever two or more members are getting connected, we have to name that point. Okay, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, these are the points which we have named. Okay, then after that one, since this is hinge, right, so what happens here, we'll be having reaction here, right? So reaction at A in y direction. Similarly, since it is hinge, so what happens, will be having two reactions, right? Hinge support has how many reactions? Two reactions. So one in x direction, one in y direction. So here it will be RAX and RAY. What about roller support? Roller support has only one reaction. Roller support has how many reactions? One reactions. So this will be RD. We'll name it as RDY only. Okay. Why? Because it is going in y direction. That is why I have named it as RDY. So firstly, we have to calculate these unknown reactions. Then only we can calculate the forces in each member. Then only we calculate the forces in each member, or else we can analyze the frame by knowing these unknown reactions only. So how to calculate unknown reactions? We'll calculate unknown reactions with the help of our equilibrium equations, that is sigma x is equal to 0. Now if you see the figure, how many horizontal forces, how many external horizontal forces are there? Only RAX is horizontal, right? We don't have any horizontal force like 60 kilonewton and 80 kilonewton like that in our horizontal direction. So RAX. So RAX is going in positive x direction, and we don't have any other force, that's why RAX is equal to 0. Okay. Next is we have sigma y is equal to 0. So now how many vertical forces we have here? We have RAY, which is going in upward direction, plus RDY. This is also going in upward direction, but 60 kilonewton is going in downward direction, right? So minus 60 is equal to 0, right? So what happens here? RAY plus RDY is equal to 60. We'll name this as equation number 1. Now another equilibrium condition is sigma x is over, sigma y is over. We have sigma m is equal to 0. Moment of all forces about point. Which point you will take? Will take down moment of all forces about point A is equal to 0. Okay. So how many forces are there? External 60, right? 60 into 2 minus RDY into 4 minus RDY into 4 is equal to 0. 60 kilonewton is going in clockwise direction with respect to A, and RDY is going in anti-clockwise direction. That is why I have taken minus. So 60 into 2 is how much? 120, right? So this will be 120 is equal to 4RDY. Okay. So what happens here? 4 ones are, then 4 threes are 0. So finally RDY is equal to how much? 30 kilonewton. We got RDY as 30 kilonewton. So substitute the value of RDY in equation number 1. So we have equation number 1 as RAY plus RDY is equal to 60, right? So RAY is equal to 60 minus RDY. This RDY is 30. So RAY is equal to 60 minus 30 is again 30 kilonewton. So finally we got the value of RAY, RDY and RAX also, right? RAX also we got. So now we will start our calculation of or analysis of frame. Okay. So how to start this one? You have to see here very carefully. Fine. So we have to select joints. Okay. We'll start with joint A. Okay. At joint A. So now see here, we'll take down this frame downward. Like this. Fine. So now we have to select the joint in such a way that it should have two unknowns. Okay. Suppose for example, if I would have selected joint B, now see here, this is nothing but force in for member BC is there, member BF is there, member BE is there, right? Then we have BA member. So how many members? Totally 1, 2, 3, 4 members are there. But here what we have to do, we have to select the member in such a way that only two unknowns are there. So if you see the joint A, we have member AE, then AB only. These are the two members in which I don't know the forces. So we'll select a joint select the point or joint select the point or joint where we have two unknowns, right? So we have to calculate the forces in each member, right? So I'll draw the free body diagram of joint A. What we'll do, we'll draw the free body diagram of joint A. See here, this is my joint A. So there are how many forces acting on joint A? There is one force which is going in upward direction. This is RAY. Another force which is acting on joint A is RAX. We have these two members, that is AB member AB. So we'll take this force in member AB, and here also we have one member, that is force in member AE. Always whenever we consider any joint, whatever the unknown forces we want, we consider those forces as away from the body. We consider that all the forces which are acting are away from the body. In case of the members, internal forces, okay? So see here, force in member AB. And what about horizontal force we have here? We have this force in member AE, okay? And what about this angle? This angle we know that is 60 degrees. This angle is how much? 60 degrees. So do we have any other force here? No, right? At joint A, these are the four forces acting, out of which we don't know only two forces, that is force in member AB and force in member AE. Okay. So what we will do here is, since this is an inclined force, we'll be having two components, right? So what will be this one? FAB cos 60, and the upper one is FAB sin 60. This is force in member AB, inclined force. Since it is inclined, what we have to do? We have to take down its components. So once we take down all the components, we'll start with simple calculation, that is sigma x is equal to 0. So how many forces are there? Horizontal forces. We know RAX is 0, right? So we'll take down those forces, however, that is RAX plus force in member AE, right? It is going in x direction, plus along with that we have force in member AB. So FAB cos 60 is equal to 0. So we know RAX value of RAX is 0. So force in member AE plus FAB cos 60 is equal to 0. Fine. So we'll name this as equation number 1 because we cannot solve further. So equation number one equation we have taken, so we'll name this as equation number 2. Okay. Next, if you see this figure, sigma y is equal to 0. So how many vertical forces we have here? You can see we have RAY plus FAB sine 60, okay, equal to 0. We know the value of RAY, that is 30, plus FAB sine 60 is equal to 0. So that implies force in member AB is equal to minus 30 divided by sine 60. Minus 30 divided by sine 60. So that implies force in member AB. Force in member, force in member AB is equal to, if you simplify this one, minus 30 divided by sine 60, you'll get minus 34.64 kilonewton. So all these values you have to take it down in a block format, and whatever the value, whether it is minus or plus, you as it is you write down in it. That is, we've got minus 34, so FAB is equal to minus 34 kilonewton. Okay. Next, we can calculate, we know FAB, so we can substitute the value of FAB in equation number 2 to get the value of force in member AE, right? Substitute FAB in equation number 2. Fine. So force in member AE plus, what is the value of FAB we got? Minus 34.64 into cos 60 is equal to 0. So force in member AE is equal to 34.64 into cos 60. 34.64 into cos 60, right? That is 17.32 newtons. Or else, since this value will go towards the right hand side, it will become positive, isn't it? So force in member AE, we got it as 17.32 kilonewton. It is in kilonewton, no? Kilonewton. Next, we have calculated at joint A. So we know the forces in member AB and AE. So now you have to suggest me which joint shall I select. Shall I go for joint B or shall I go for joint E? So if I go for joint B, if I go for this joint, how many unknown forces are there? You see, we have force in member BC, force in member BF, and force in member BE. How many unknowns? 3 unknowns are there. So, but we have to select a joint in such a way that there should be only 2 unknowns. So, if you select joint E, how many unknown forces are there? See, force in member EF and force in member BE. However, we know the force in member FAE and AE, right? So, we'll take down joint. We'll take down which joint now? We'll take down joint E instead of joint B because we want only 2 unknowns to be there. Fine. So, at joint E. At joint E. So, how many forces are there at joint E? Suppose this is my joint. Okay. There is one force acting. Always remember, whenever you take any joint, all the internal forces, we consider that all the forces are acting away from the body. So this is force in member EF. Here force in member AE, force in member AE, and we have force in member BE. Always remember internal forces. Forces in members, always we consider that it is acting away from the joint. When which suppose this is the joint we have selected, so we assume that the force is acting away from the joint. Okay. And we know force in member AE. Force in member AE is how much? We calculated 17.32, right? So again we'll start the calculation with the simple equilibrium equation, that is sigma x is equal to 0. So how many forces are there? Sigma x is equal to 0. So force in member AE is going in negative x direction, FAE plus force in member EF is equal to 0. Force in member AE we know that is minus 17.32 plus force in member EF is equal to 0. So force in member EF is equal to 17.32 kilonewton. We got the value of force in member EF. Next, we'll go for sigma y is equal to 0. So if you see the joint E, free body diagram of joint E, we have only one vertical force, that is force in member BE, which is equal to 0, no other force. So force in member BE is equal to how much? 0 kilonewton. So this is about joint E. Now we will consider another joint. Which joint shall I select? You have to tell me. See here, this is the figure. Now we have calculated joint E. We have calculated this one. We know the force in member EF, right? We know the force in member AE also. We know the force in member BE also, right? So which joint shall I select? Shall I select joint F or joint B? If I select joint F, there are how many unknown forces here? We have BF, then FC, then FG. So instead of these, the joint F, we'll select joint B, because how many unknowns are there? You see, we have unknown force BC, unknown force BF. Remaining forces, we know all these forces, right? So we'll select joint B. At joint B. So I'll draw the joint B here. Okay, this is suppose the point. So always remember internal forces. We assume that all the forces are acting away from the body. So this is one force, which is force in member BE. Another force is inclined force, that is force in member AB. Another force is force in member BF. Force in member BF. This angle is given, we know that is 60 degrees, right? And even this angle is also 60 degrees. So whenever we have an inclined force, we'll be having what components, right? We'll be having components of forces, that is FAB horizontal component 60, then we have FAB sine 60. Similarly, this one is inclined force, so FBF cos 60 and FBF sine 60. Okay, so now we'll go with our equilibrium equations, that is sigma x is equal to 0. So how many horizontal forces we have here? We have FAB cos 60 and FBF cos 60. Okay, so FAB cos 60 is going in negative x direction, so minus FAB cos 60 minus FAB cos 60 plus FAB cos 60 plus FBF cos 60, this one. FBF cos 60. One more force we have here, that is force in member BC is also there, right? Force in member BC. So plus FBC is equal to 0. So what is FAB? We know the value of force in member AB. So but since here it is minus outside, what is the value of FAB? Minus 34.64 we got, right? Into cos 60 plus what is the value of FBF? We don't know, right? So FBF, you write it as it is, cos 60 plus FBC, we don't know, equal to 0. So if you simplify this one, you'll get it as minus into minus plus 17.32 plus FBF into cos 60 is 0.5 plus FBC is equal to 0. Again, we'll name this as equation number, let us take equation number 3. Okay, now we'll go for sigma y is equal to 0. So if you see here how many vertical forces we have minus FAB sine 60, then minus FBE, then minus FBF sine 60 is equal to 0. So minus as it is, what is the value of FAB we got? Minus 34.64 into sine 60. We know FBE, value of FBE is 0. FBF sine 60. So we'll send this term towards right hand side. So it will be equal to FBF sine 60. So if you simplify this one, you will get it as force in member F, this sine 60 and this sine 60 will get cancelled. Minus into minus you'll get plus. So FBF is equal to 34.64 kilonewton. So we got the value of force in member BF as 34.64 kilonewton. Now we'll substitute this value in equation number 3 so that we will get the value of force in member BC. Okay. So substitute in equation number 3. So 17.32 plus FBF, right? So FBF, what is the value of FBF? 34.64 into 0.5 plus FBC is equal to 0. So force in member BC is equal to force in member BC. Force in member BC, if you simplify this one, you will get it as minus 34.64 kilonewton. So we got the value of force in member BC. Now we'll go for joint D now. At joint D. So how many forces are acting at joint D? You can see there we have one force which is going in upward direction, that is my RDY, right? RDY, which is equal to 30 kilonewton. Another force is force in member. Internal forces always we assume away from the body. That is force in member DF. Then another force is force in member DC. Okay, these are the three forces acting in it. So I will consider this one. We'll take down from the figure. If you scroll down here, how many members are there you see here? Since we are considering joint D, right? So this is the joint D. So DC. Then we have DC, DG, the only two members, right? Only two members. That is DC. This is DG. This one is DG. So you might have wondering, sir, why we have not considered joint C, right? So if you see joint C after joint B, we have got joint C. So if you see joint C, how many unknown forces are there? CD, CG, and CF. There are three unknown forces. So that is why we have gone towards joint D. Okay. So you have to see whether how many unknown forces are there. That is very, very important. So this angle we know that is 60 degrees, right? So what happens here? We'll be having two components. That is, this one will be FDC cos 60 and this will be FDC, sorry, this one will be sine and this one will be DC cos 60. Okay, so again you start with horizontal forces, that is sigma x is equal to 0. So sigma x is equal to 0. So that implies minus F CD or DC? FDC cos 60 minus FDG is equal to 0. So we don't know the force in member. What is this equation? We'll name this as equation number 4 now, because we don't know the force in member DC as well as we don't know the force in member DG also. So sigma y is equal to 0. How many vertical forces? See there, RDY is going in upward direction, plus 30 plus FDC sine 60 is equal to 0. So 30 is equal to FDC sine 60. So FDC is equal to 30 by sine 60. So this will be minus, right? If I am sending towards the left hand side. So FDC is sine 60, this is minus. So FDC is equal to 17.32 kilonewton. We got the value of force in member DC. This is minus, right? So FCD is 34. If you simplify, you'll get it as minus 34.64, not 17. Okay. Substitute in equation number 4. You'll get the value of force in member DG is equal to 17.32 kilonewton. Okay. So we got the force in member DC and DG. Okay. Now we'll move to another joint, that is at joint G. At joint G, we have three forces. This is joint G. One force is force in member DG or GD. Okay. Then we have vertical member, that is force in member GC. Then another force in member FG. or GF. Okay, so sigma x is equal to 0. If you do here, you will get it as minus FFG plus FGD is equal to 0. So FFG, we know that is minus that is 17.32, right? FFG is equal to 17.32. DG we have calculated, right? 17.32. If you substitute here, you will get the value as 17.32 kilonewton. This is FG. What about sigma Y? That is force in member GC is equal to 0. Okay, so joint G is also over. Now we are left over with the last joint, that is joint F. At joint F. So how many forces are acting over joint F? So this is joint F. There is one force which is going exactly in downward direction, that is 60 kilonewton. Then we have force in member horizontal force, that is force in member FG. Then we have an inclined force. This is force in member CF, force in member CF. Then we have force in member BF, force in member BF. Then force in member EF, right? So all the forces we know here, that is only one force is remaining, that is force in member CF. All the forces we know. So we'll take down the components. So this is 60 degrees. So for FCF cos 60 and FCF sin 60. Then here FBF sin 60. Here FBF cos 60. So these are the components of inclined force. And also force in member BF, we know it as 34.64. We know this value. Also this force we know it as 17.32. Force in member EF also we know that is 17.32. All these forces we know. Only thing which we don't know is CF. Okay, so if you do sigma x is equal to 0, sigma x is equal to 0, how many horizontal forces we have? We have here minus FBF cos 60 plus FCF cos 60 plus FCF cos 60 is over FCF cos 60. Then we have FEF and FFG. This is going in minus and plus, so it will become 0, right? So we'll write down plus 17.32 plus 17.32 minus 17.32 equal to 0. So what happens here? We know minus 34.64. FBF, value of FBF is minus 34.64 into cos 60 plus FCF cos 60. This one and this one will become 0, right? Equal to 0. So FCF is equal to 17.32 whole divided by cos 60. So that implies force in member CF is equal to 34.64 kilonewton. So finally we have calculated all the forces in each member, Now we have to take down the table here. So how the table will look like? First we have to take down member, then magnitude, then here we have to write down nature. So how many members are there? How many members are there? We have, first we have AB, then AE, then EF, EB, right? Then BC, BF, then DG, DC, DG, DC, GC, GF and CF. GF, then we have CF. So these are the forces or members we have. Then what is the force in member AB? So this table is important. You have to draw this table. If you don't draw this table, then you will not be awarded with marks. Okay, this is very, very important. So this table, okay. So force in member AB. Force in member AB, we got it as 34.64. Since we got force in member AB as minus 34.64, we'll not here write here minus. We'll write only plus 34.64, and nature we name it as compression. Okay. Next, what about force in member AE? 17.32. If it is plus, then we'll name it as tension. Okay, tension or compression. In short form, we can write T or C also. Okay. Similarly, force in member EF, we got it as 17.32. Force in member BE or EB, we got it as 0. So in EF, we got tension positive, so tension T. Then next is force in member BC. BC is we got minus 34.64. So 34.64 compression I will write here. Okay. Here it is 0. Don't write anything. Then here next we have BF, right? So force in member BF, we got it as 34.64. 34.64, and it is tension. Okay. Force in member DG. DG is 17.32. We got 17.32. It is tension. Similarly, force in member DC is 34.64. We got it as minus 34.64. So I'll write here C. Okay. Then force in member GC, that is vertical member, is 0, 0. Then what is the force in member GF? We got 17.32 plus 17.32 you got. So that is why I'm writing here T. So in CF also 34.64. Since it is plus, so we'll write here T. Okay. So this is how we analyze the frame and calculate all the forces in each member of the frame. Okay. So this table is very, very important. With the help of this table only, you will be awarded full marks. If you don't draw this table or don't write this table, the marks will not be allotted to you. Okay. So it is very, very important problem. You might expect these type of problems in your final exams as well as in your internal examinations. Okay. Thank you.